Welcome back to a Tangy Tip Tuesday, and yes, you are going to want to hear this. Welcome back to a Tangy Tip Tuesday at the renewed Homestead, everybody. Yes, you are going to want to stick to the end of this because I'll explain why it's a Tangy Tip Tuesday. First off, let me apologize. It is raining outside, so we're inside. And as you can see, we are still lacking light. So I got my shop light set up out here, giving me a little bit of light. Hopefully the microphone doesn't pick up too much of the echo because you can see we're still under construction. Cliff was over today. We were working on the shower, and Billy's going to be coming over soon to help me with the electrical stuff, and we're getting close to getting moved in, or at least partially moved in. But anyway, all in good time. But rainy weather put us inside to do this video. As we go along, I do want to do more general kind of tips, woodworking kind of tips, gardening kind of tips. But right now we are in kind of a, watch out for an economic problem and supply chain problem. So there's some things that go with that I think are important to pick up right now and talk about. Last week we were talking about sanitation, or in the last Tip Tuesday, and we're kind of trying to do these about every other week. We talked about the soap, putting it in a nylon sock and hanging them up by whatever your water source is so they stay dry. But talking about sanitation, another really important thing, especially for people in urban areas and especially in like apartments or condos. Keep in mind, we're talking about the power grid going down. It does not have to be an EMP blast. It can be a cyber attack. I mean, look, a couple summers ago, the power grid was shut down on the East Coast for a little while. So if something like that happened on a larger scale, think about what you're going to do for toilet. Now, the power goes out. Your toilets aren't going to flush because unless there are backup generators, and that may only last, well, I know there are backup generators for the water pumps in cities, but how long will those run before they run out of, say, diesel fuel that runs them? That's another whole subject. But if and when those pumps go out, you're no longer going to get water. If you're not getting water, that means you're not flushing your toilet. So what did I have as one of my preps back in Arizona? They make toilet seats that go on a 5-gallon bucket. I know it sounds funny and seems weird, but let's talk this through a little bit. It's 5-gallon Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever 5-gallon bucket you have. The toilet seat sits on there. Keep those plastic bags from the grocery store, and you have a way to dispose of things and try to keep things clean. So again, you're an apartment complex. The toilets aren't flushing. It's not like you can run outside like you would maybe at a house where you can go out in the backyard and dig an outhouse essentially in your backyard. If you're in an apartment, what are you going to do? You get one flush once that water shuts off. So think that through. What are you going to do? There's the bathtub. Or are you going to pick a corner of a room in your house that becomes your toilet? I mean, I know this is kind of disgusting to think about, but you really got to think about that. What is everybody going to do? That's what we say. Disease is one of the big killers in a bad situation like that. because not only are you having to find alternative places to go, number one or two, but so are your neighbors. And again, that's where being on the top story of an apartment complex is a whole lot better than being on the first floor. I know, sounds disgusting. I had this exact conversation with my daughter, and she now has a toilet seat that goes on a 5-gallon bucket. So, you've got this bucket, you can tie up those bags, you can get them out to the trash, whatever it is. But that's just something that I had in my preps, and my daughter and Alec will hopefully have soon in theirs. And I know it's an awful thing to think about, but when you can't flush that toilet, you've got to have an alternate set up and ready, mentally at least, where you're going to go. And again, if you're in a house and with a backyard, hey, okay, you can find a corner, dig a pit. You've got a little bit longer, but somebody in an apartment or condos, you got to watch out. So let's shift a little bit. Now, say that the power is out and going to be out for a while, or even if you don't think it's going to be out for a while, you've got about 3 days without water. So I know a lot of you already have 5-gallon jugs of water and water bottles and things like that, but on average, we're using about 6 gallons of water per person per day. I don't know that you're going to have that much water stored up, especially again in an apartment complex. So if you know that power is going down or you have a limited time to get water, I know we've said it before, but close the drain, fill your bathtubs, fill your sinks. You can always use that water out of the back of the toilet if you haven't already flushed it down. But something I tell my kids too, everybody's got those big Rubbermaid totes. Don't forget to fill those. Don't just leave them in the bathtub. Fill them up, get them out of the bathtub so you can fill the bathtub as well. But anything that'll hold water, you better be filling it up, because you're going to want to wash your hands. You're going to need to cook. And if in a suburban area, it's not like you're going to be able to run down to the creek and get water. And in a bad situation, it's probably not safe to do it even if you could. So, all right. So those are 2 tips. Get your toilet seat, 5-gallon bucket toilet, and make sure you're filling everything with water, those totes and so forth. So why is it a Tangy Tuesday? All right, what did everybody do before everybody, it seems like, carries around the little inhalers, got asthma, whatever it is? Let me note right here before I say it, this is not medical advice, but Mom was a school nurse, and what did they keep on hand before everybody had an inhaler? Tang. Sounds odd, but if a kid came in kind of wheezing, having an asthma attack or whatever, they'd mix up some Tang and have them drink it. I don't know what the principle is behind it. I don't know the medical reason behind it. I can't find any medical reason behind it. But I checked with her again before I even brought this up. I'm like, hey, didn't you say you used to do that? Oh, yeah, we did that all the time. Kid came in wheezing from on the playground. We give them some Tang, open up those airways, and they go back to playing, fighting, whatever they do, whatever they did. So again, not medical advice, but I have a thing of Tang in my preps. I don't have asthma. Denise does not have asthma, but what if we've got somebody up here that does, and medical attention can't get here? We have it. We can use it, because I don't have any extra inhalers because I don't have any. So, all right, there you go. So that's why it's a Tangy Tuesday. Keep some Tang on hand. And besides, nobody needs it. I guess you can always drink it, and little comfort food, because it's not like you're going to be able to run down and get a soda or fresh squeezed lemonade if things get bad. So, all right. Is there anything else that we wanted to cover today for Tip Tuesday? I don't think so. I think those were the 3. I'm going to try to stick to 3 or 4 each time. But again, I hope to get more fun prep type of things. But these are a couple of 3 really important ones I wanted to bring up now, because everybody's kind of starting to look and starting to get buy things and get them on hand just in case. So anyway, all right. Well, that's it for today. I really do appreciate you all. Make sure you're commenting. Make sure you are subscribed and give us a thumbs up. We're also over on Rumble. We're getting really close. We're at like 925, 930. We're almost at that 1,000 mark. So thank you all for subscribing, but I think that'll do it. So you all make sure you get your pet spayed or neutered. Be good to yourself, be good to each other. God bless. We'll be praying for everybody. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.